Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining another how-to class here in Favro. My name is Alvarez, and I'm the product expert. And today's topic, of course, is how teams can boost productivity with Favro. First, I would like to inform you that you can always input your questions in the Q&A section, section, and provide your questions that we can answer, hopefully at the end of this how-to class. Now, without any further ado, I think we can start. The session will be recorded and you'll be able to watch it later on. So let's begin. So how teams can boost productivity with Favro. We pointed out a few key points that we would like to talk about today. And the first one is how to create collections and team-specific views that can be shared between different teams inside your Favro organization. So I'll start by sharing my screen, and let's take a look at collections first. So from the experience that we see with our clients, a nice way to start creating collections is from a team's level. Understand what a team or teams of teams is looking to work at in the organization. So here, for example, we have a teams collection with a backlog board or a board where you would be providing all your deliverables and adding them in this one source of truth board. We also have a side on the right where we have an additional board represented as a timeline. You can see all the deliverables added in a timeline perspective. And then, of course, we have two additional boards representing different team workflows. We have a product team and their workflow, and also a marketing team and their workflow. Now, with this in mind, when we have made some boards on the collection, we can then start to arrange even deeper. And if we want to create collections for specific members or specific teams, in this case, we can go and create a new collection, which would be specific for a team member or a personal collection. So let's take a look at this one right here, where we can include boards from the main team's collection. And that can be done by simply pressing the plus sign and going to add from another collection. So let's do that, and let's include the timeline on this team member collection so that the team member could also see the timeline for all of the deliverables. And that would be added from the team's collection. So let's go and add. Let's input the collection name. And let's add the timeline. Here we go. And here we have the same timeline that you saw from the team's collection. Now, talking about the collection creation themselves, it's very easy to reuse the same collections for maybe same projects or same teams by using the template option. So each collection can be created into a template by just going into the collection menu, going to the additional options and selecting save as a collection template. Now, these templates can then be reused when you're creating a new collection with the boards and cards already there. That will save you a lot of time. The next part of that was regarding specific views for your team members. So as we are in a team member collection, and we do have a board as a backlog board that's been added from the team's collection, we see the same view that the team sees, but maybe it's more relevant for the team member to see only the tasks that have been assigned to him. With that in mind, we can easily add different views on the board to specify what views do I want to see. Maybe for maybe externals for a specific member, like so. So let's showcase that by just adding a new view. I'll select sheet view, and I'll select my colleague John. And from here, we can then choose to filter out the board by the specifics that we're looking at. So in this case, let's filter it out by John. We put on the filter option and choose members. Now let's go and choose John, and then save to John's view. And that's it. So now we can see only the John's tasks that have been assigned to him. And if this is a John's collection, you can easily come in his own collection and see the view specifically designed for him. Now, the neat thing about these views that it does not affect the team's view on their own collection. So if we go back to the team's collection, you can see that the view here has stayed the same. It has not changed, and nothing has been different or updated, even though we did some changes on the same board in a different collection. Now, let's take a look a bit about the collections themselves, the structure of the collections. A nice set of views is always to have a specific board where you can have all the tasks or deliverables in one place, as we have here in the backlog board. A timeline maybe to represent these tasks and where would they need to be in the timeline perspective. So having these two, you can already have a broader view of the deliverables that you're looking at. And it's easy to work between them by simply just dragging and dropping tasks into the timeline. So let's say this Facebook ad, a task, want to align it and have a specific timeline set for it. So we can just simply add it on the timeline and then arrange it when it's going to be completed. You can see that the timeline has been updated also on the backlog, so it's fully synced between different boards. Right. So let's go then into the next topic, and that is how to use Favro for your daily stand-ups. And that's very important to understand that the information that you see on Favro has to represent information or has to show, what's happening in reality in the organization. Are we between the deadlines? Are we fast approaching them? Have we maybe passed them? Are we completing our tasks in time? And are we doing a great job? With that in mind, we do have an option that can really help you out doing your daily stand-ups, and that's called the charts. So specifically, the burn down chart that you can access by adding the view on any of the boards or the workflow boards that your team is working on by simply selecting charts. So let's choose the burn down chart, and let's take a look what exactly the burn down chart gives you. So it gives you the estimation on how fast are you going to complete your task. It gives you a prediction upon that by selecting on what do you want to count your task. So in this case, we've selected to burn down or select our task by cards. We can also choose by hours or any estimation that we put inside the cards. So the simplest one right here would be by cards. So we have around 4 cards currently on the board. And we can see by completing them, we can see the prediction of how fast or when exactly are we going to complete this task. So by having a deadline, this can really help you out and see, are you completing your task in time and will you make it in time? Of course, you can also include a date range by which you can then see a bit more of information. So let's choose the 12th. Let's say we start from Monday and we start to complete some tasks already. As you can see, the chart is going down and the prediction is showing us also that it's going to be completed sometime in the future. Now, we can also include an ideal burn down line to provide you with the ideal exact estimations when you should have completed all of your tasks. And by looking on this graph right here, we can see that around 16th or 17th of December, we're still moving on the same pace. We're going to not going to make in time. So this can give you a broader understanding on your stand-ups. Are you making in time? Are you completing your tasks by estimations and completing them in time? So a nice view to review all of your daily tasks from yesterday or currently that's on your work board. Now, another way how you can review data and just simply have it on your daily stand-ups to understand the current situation. We can take a look at the backlog right here, is the priority, or simply some sort of a status that can represent what is important for you currently and what is maybe not important. So let's quickly do that and create a new status column, which we'll call priority. Save. And create. Now from here, we can select some of the tasks to be low, some of them could be in medium, and some may be in high. Now, why am I showing the priority or a separate status field? That is because when you look at the backlog in the sheet view, it may not give you that exact information that you're looking for. And that is why we have multiple views that can provide you with different view of the situation. So if we go into the Kanban right now, we can actually see how are the tasks set up and which tasks are currently important for us to complete. And with the help of having the tasks in different locations, we can actually see if our highest tasks or most important tasks are being completed in time, or especially or maybe they're stuck in a different stage or different teams. Right now, we can see that our two highest priorities, one is actually being done in the product team, and the other one is still in preview. So that might be the reason why we need to push the team or check with the team, are we completing this in time? And this is a high priority task. Of course, if you'll have more different statuses, you can simply choose the option of view Kanban as and change it into different status field. So a Kanban can represent, a priority can represent different aspects and can show you different data at the same time. So a neat way how you can reuse the Kanban view as sufficient as possible to show you the most outdated information. And then let's go to the third key point, and that is how to use automations to ensure that the right work gets to the right people at the right time. Now with this, we can use automations, of course, to automate a lot of the actions that can be done in your boards. So let's go back to the product workflow board. And in this situation, we can easily choose automations to inform people when our tasks or deliverables have been assigned into specific stages. So for example, the review stage might be used for a specific person who need to review our deliverables. And that's important to always notify the person that he would be aware of incoming workflow on his side. Now, with that, we can simply create an automation that would notify the member and assign the member to the task when it approaches onto review stage. So let's take a look at the board menu and select automations. We have some automations already created, and let's take a look at review. So when a card has been assigned status, and we can select the review stage, we would like to assign a member, or call Daniel, and then send the message directly to Daniel saying, please review this task. So simple as that. We can already inform the needed person, send the message, and maybe even do an additional task right here is to add to a specific board where this member is working on. In this case, to the marketing workflow board. can save it, and let's take a look how that automation works. So let's choose task and move it into preview. You can see Daniel has been assigned, and automatically the card has been also added to the marketing workflow board where Daniel is working on, and he will be reviewing this task from his board. Now, also to use automations, you can also identify tasks that might be blocked or need some additional attention. And of course, for that, we can use tags, color, or any other way that can be visible on your cards. In this case, we have a blocked stage that can be made with the automations, where we can actually set it that when a task has been added to the block stage, we will add a tag called blocked, and also change the color into red to be more notified everywhere or any other boards where this card is. So let's go and do another example. Let's choose the new product launch page and let's move it into blocked. So we see the color changed on red, and we also receive the tag saying that this task is blocked. Now, if we take a look at the bottom right here, we can also see that has been changed on other boards. So we can be notifying all other members that this task has been blocked and something is stopping us from moving forward. So it's a nice way to notify all your team members or specific team members that something has happened on these deliverables. Now we can also go back on to the left side, where we can also see that notification or the blocking issue. You can see right here that the new product launch page that we just moved has been set to blocked. It also has the red color on the left, as I mentioned before. Now we can also take a look at the request form that has been made through one of our features forms. So we have a form option possible, or form board view that you can add to any of the boards and create forms to receive information from a link. So we have right here a Teams request board. You can take a look how it's been set up. Simple questions. And here we have some automations made that when a task has been created or filled in the form, depending on the answer that had been submitted, the form will create a card, and the card will be assigned to a specific team's board. So you can actually take a look at this few submissions that we have right here. We have a submission number 5 that has been assigned to team devs. We have a timeline set, a request detail, and maybe not also an urgency upon is this task urgent or not. Now let's take a look at the automations. And here we have a simple automation said that when a card field changes, that means when a person fills in the form and selects one of the options for dev or dev team, this task is being added to the incoming request for the dev team board, which I'll show you in a moment. From here, then the dev team can be again notified and then start working on this submission that has been done by the form. Actually, let's go and do the form right here and then showcase how would that look. So simply just copying the link to the form or doing the form in the preview mode. So let's do that. Let's select the dev team. This is a non-urgent priority. We can select a timeline. Let's choose for tomorrow. Request details, presentation, and then submit. And that's it. We can go back to the requests. You can see that the new submission has been done. And the task has been also automatically added to dev team board. So we have a separate collection made for the dev team. And here you go. We have also incoming requests, or we can actually see the non-urgent requests and urgent requests that also have been done by via automation. And here we can see our submission number 6 has been added to the team dev board for the incoming requests. So easy as that. Automations can easily can easily have this process of assigning tasks, sending tasks to specific teams, or just arranging your tasks to arranging them so that each team can be notified and see exactly what is important or what is not important. And I think that's a great feature for the automations to have, as it's very important to not miss on the tasks that are needed to be done on time, or simply just not to do them at all or miss them in time. And with that, I actually want to showcase one more automation that's also relevant for timing. So let's go back on to the product workflow board. And here we actually have the locked stage, as I mentioned before. And one of the automations can really help out in these situations where we want to not forget about the tasks that have been created or have been stayed in a stage for quite a long time, or in a status that's quite important for us. We can create an automation that can simply notify us when a task has been for a longer period of time than we anticipated. So let's go into automations. Actually, that's the one at the top right here. So the automation is called after time with status. And simply select it right here. And we can select after what time and what status we want to get notified or do an action, so that we would be aware of these deliverables and tasks that have been too long in one place. So here we chose 5 days, and when a task in the status is in the status blocked, meaning when the task has been longer than 5 days and blocked, I want to assign a team manager, my colleague, and send him a message to actually review this task and see if we can do something about it that has been stopped and not allowing us to move forward with this task. So another great automation that can ensure that the right people get the right message at the right time. Right. And that was it, what I wanted to showcase on this productivity session on how-to class. So if you have any questions, we can actually take a look at them right here in the Q&A session. So we'll be still staying here for up to 2-3 minutes. So if you have any questions, you can actually answer them live right now. Right. So I see that there are no questions. So again, thank you all for joining for this session. And if you have any questions, do let us know, or you can always reach out us on the chat option or send us an email and ask away, that we can help you out with setting up your collections and boosting your productivity with Favro. Thank you all and have a good day.